Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
We begin tonight in Tompkins County, where there are now 3 different variants of COVID-19, which doctors say are more contagious. Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst reports health leaders are also warning of an increase in cases in the county.
Good evening, Ann. The virus is still very active in Tompkins County, according to health officials, and they're asking residents to continue adhering to COVID safety guidelines. In a statement released yesterday, the Tompkins County Health Department is reporting more than 150 active cases in the county, along with the presence of 3 COVID strains. Health officials say the UK variant, New York City variant, and the Southern California variant have been detected in recent positive tests from residents. All 3 are believed to be more contagious than the original strain of COVID-19. Despite the increase in cases, Health Director Frank Karupa is not asking residents to do anything more beyond following current COVID safety protocols. Even as New York continues to relax COVID restrictions, Krupa is asking residents to continue wearing masks, practice social distancing, as well as getting the vaccine when you're eligible. As of today, Tompkins County has vaccinated more than 1/3 of its residents. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
The Steuben County Department of Health is hosting a vaccine clinic at Corning Painted Post High School tomorrow. The clinic will distribute first doses of the Moderna vaccine from 9 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. There are enough doses to vaccinate 300 people, and Director Darlene Smith says appointments are still available.
We do still have approximately 65 openings left at various times during the day tomorrow. So it would be great if we could get that clinic filled up for tomorrow.
Anyone over the age of 50 or with an eligible comorbidity is able to sign up on the County Health Department's website. Billions of dollars being set aside to help schools and educators across the country reopen for in-person learning. COVID-19 specialist Amanda Decker takes a look at what the money will be used for as schools work to return to normal.
$10 billion. That's how much money the Department of Health and Human Services is setting aside to support continued COVID-19 testing in schools across the country. The money was included in President Biden's COVID response and pandemic preparedness strategy to get tests to the people who need them the most. Testing students, teachers, and school staff can help COVID-19 infections be caught early enough to prevent them from spreading, which means preventing outbreaks and school closures. The amount of money each state receives will vary depending on population and number of school districts. In California, for example, almost $890 million will go toward this program. In New York, about $335 million. States like Tennessee and Indiana will get about $205 million. Arkansas and Mississippi, about $90 million. Federal HHS officials plan to work with state and local health departments to set up and execute these programs on a local level. Their ultimate goal to have schools reopen for in-person learning for the final months of the spring semester, but definitely by the time the new school year begins in the fall. Now, just last week, the CDC issued some new guidance for schools saying it is safe for students to maintain at least 3 feet of social distancing instead of 6, allowing more students to return to class while still being at a safe distance from each other. I'm COVID-19 specialist Amanda Decker reporting.
The shooter who opened fire Monday at a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado, killing 10 people, including a police officer, is now being charged with multiple counts of first-degree murder. As authorities try to piece together what happened, we are learning more about the victims of the horrific attack. Ray Bogan has more from Boulder.
The complex investigation into the deadly shooting continues here in Boulder, Colorado, as victims' loved ones are now grappling with immense loss. Boulder police identifying the suspected gunman who opened fire at the King's Supermarket as a 21-year-old man.
He has been charged with 10 counts of murder in the first degree.
Monday's deadly rampage began outside the busy shopping complex, then continued inside. When police arrived on the scene, they immediately engaged the shooter, exchanging gunfire with him. It was during that shootout when veteran police officer and father of 7, Eric Talley, was killed.
When the moment the act came, Officer Tully did not hesitate in his duty, making the ultimate sacrifice in his effort to save lives. That's a definition of an American hero.
A memorial on a police cruiser outside the Boulder Police Department is growing as the community honors the 51-year-old fallen officer. The 9 other victims range in age from 20 to 65.
We are committed with state, local, and federal authorities for a thorough investigation, and will bring justice to each of these families.
Tuesday afternoon, President Biden spoke about the tragedy. It's the second mass shooting in less than a week.
I just can't imagine how the families are feeling, the victims whose futures were stolen from them, from their families, from their loved ones, who now have to struggle to go on and try to make sense of what's happened.
The president ordered flags be flown at half-staff until sunset on Saturday. In Boulder, Colorado, Ray Bogan, Fox News.
President Joe Biden ordering flags at the White House, all public buildings and grounds, as well as military posts and naval stations to be flown at half-staff in honor of the victims of the Boulder, Colorado shooting. In an address to the nation, the president said banning assault weapons is possible and gun control should not be a partisan issue. He called on Congress to immediately pass legislation following the mass shooting that claimed the lives of 10 people at a grocery store. Flags will remain at half-staff through Saturday. The Colorado supermarket shooting has given today's previously scheduled Senate Judiciary Committee's hearing on gun violence added urgency. Gun control advocates point to Boulder and the Atlanta area shooting as proof that the time to pass reform measures is long overdue. Lauren Blanchard has the latest from Washington.
It's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. It's tragic.
A grocery store shooting in Boulder, Colorado on Monday kills at least 10, including a police officer. 1 week ago at Round Atlanta, spa shootings killed 8. 6 were Asian women. 2 mass shootings in less than 1 week. Now Congress is again taking up the issue of gun control.
We've seen too many desperate trips to the emergency room, too many funerals, too many families and communities have been scarred forever by gun violence. We've come to accept it as part of American life.
The Senate Judiciary Committee holding a hearing on the constitutional and common sense steps to reduce gun violence. The chairman of the committee says Americans in both parties can agree the number of gun deaths are too high. Republicans, now in the minority in Congress and without the White House, have long been protective of Second Amendment rights. Earlier in the month, the House passed 2 bills, the Bipartisan Background Checks Act and the Enhanced Background Checks Act of 2021. But their fates are less certain in the 50-50 split Senate, where they need at least 60 votes.
The 2 background check bills recently passed by the House passed on votes that were virtually party line. That is not a good sign.
President Biden has been briefed on the shooting in Colorado. His team says gun reform is needed now.
The regular sentiment of hearts and prayers are not enough. We need action on this in the country.
The Senate Judiciary Committee says this first hearing will be part of a series to come up with proposals to reduce gun violence. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Postmaster General Louis DeJoy announcing a 10-year plan for the post office that includes longer delivery plans and higher prices. DeJoy says the massive plan called Delivering for America is seeking to make the post office more competitive and modern. The new strategies are aimed to improve service performance as the Postal Service currently is struggling to meet its delivery time and to reach financial projections for the decade.
This is an optimistic, growth-oriented approach to our future that will ensure our place as a vital part of the nation's critical infrastructure for years to come. The result for the public is a modern postal service which has greater ability to meet the needs of our residential and business customers and to quickly adapt to changes in the marketplace.
DeJoy, who was appointed by former President Donald Trump, also included cuts to post office hours across the country in his proposal. Last month, President Joe Biden nominated 3 people to fill vacancies on the Postal Service Board of Governors, a move that many lawmakers believe could lead to DeJoy's ouster. Well, start saving now for your summer road trip. Analysts say $3 gas is coming. The price of gas has been on a tear, going up every day for the past 47 days. The national average is now $2.89 per gallon and is expected to reach $3 by Memorial Day. But don't blame Washington. Experts say the surge has nothing to do with federal energy policy. Instead, it's about increases in demand as people start driving again, coupled with cuts in production by frackers and OPEC. Oil markets have been recovering swiftly from the pandemic, with crude hitting a high of more than $66 per barrel earlier this month. Still ahead tonight, some who had prolonged effects from having COVID-19 say they're experiencing an unexpected benefit from the coronavirus vaccine. How the vaccine is providing symptom improvement, even relief for some COVID long haulers.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Hi everyone, welcome back. This weather forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Wow, was it really warm out there? Our temperatures are running about 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. I'm everyone, meteorologist Monica McNeil, and these very warm temperatures are going to stay with us. We're looking at highs today near 70 degrees in Elmira, 69 degrees. Just about everywhere you go across our completely viewing area, those temperatures were way up there. The next element we're going to spring into the forecast, increasing those clouds as we're watching the next rainmaker will be arriving late tonight into tomorrow. So future radar shows those clouds already starting to show up at about 10 o'clock. After midnight, we began to see those showers showing up. After midnight and about 8 o'clock in the morning, you'll definitely run into some rainfall as you're getting the kids ready for school or heading off to work. Yeah, keep the umbrella in your car. Those showers will linger with us for the first part of the day, so at around 1 o'clock, we'll see a little bit more of a widespread area of those showers, a little bit of a donut hole there, where you got a little bit of a dry pocket, but those showers will track on across and move out by the afternoon. So you'll have a little bit of a break before the next round of showers come in, and that's going to be on Thursday night. Let's take a look at your forecast lows for tonight. So we talked about those showers arriving after midnight, right? Low temperatures will remain in the mid to upper 40s all around the region. So a little bit on the muggy side out there with a southeast wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Forecast map for Wednesday again. Moisture increasing, so we're bringing the clouds back into our forecast. All of this arriving out ahead of the next storm system. It's going to be moving out of the southern plains and tracking across the Midwest, and that's going to bring us those chances of showers. Here is what can happen for you if you have to walk your dog right before all of the rain hits. The best window is definitely not going to be early in the morning, but as we move through the day, it looks like I would say about 2, 3, or 4 o'clock. You'll see enough of a break to get outside to walk your dog. Our high temperatures for tomorrow, again, will be in the 60s, and there's that chance of rain and showers, and we'll definitely see some patchy fog developing for the first part of the day. 63 is going to be the high temperature. As we head into Thursday, we'll see periods of sun and clouds out there, and those very warm temperatures are sticking around with highs in the low 70s. By Friday, the next system moves in, so Friday night we'll begin to see the rain again, and then into Friday as well. A little bit of a break for us on Saturday. You'll notice those cooler temperatures as the front passes by. It'll pull our temperatures down, much cooler weather by the weekend.
A Chicago hospital is under fire for reports that it improperly gave COVID-19 vaccines to ineligible people at private events. And journalists say it's not the first time, second time, or even third time it's happened. Liz Nagy reports.
Inside Loretto Hospital, board members are deep in damage control mode.
What they did wrong is wrong, so each storyline that continues to come out is wrong.
For the fourth time in about a week, Block Club Chicago is reporting Loretto's top executives facilitated illicit vaccine injections. This time, Block Club says it happened inside a swanky Gold Coast Swiss watch and jewelry store frequented by the hospital's chief operating officer, Anash Ahmed. Store employees declined to comment.
It's like they're picking and choosing who live and who die.
That's how people in the hard-hit Austin community feel about a hospital that's supposed to help the West Side community that's been ravaged by a lack of resources and now COVID-19. The hospital recently admitted to vaccinating 72 Trump Tower employees at a private event. Hospital staff confirms some Cook County judges and their spouses received the shots despite not yet being eligible. Loretto Hospital CEO George Miller is under scrutiny after having the hospital vaccination team travel to his church in Oak Forest to administer shots to 200 people in February.
So we applaud? I think so.
City health officials chose Loretto as the starting point for Chicago's vaccine rollout.
I never trust him.
Months later, little more than 13% of Austin has received even one dose. Now the city has cut off first dose supplies to Loretto until it can prove a proper vaccination strategy.
And now they had a hold on all the shots and stuff, and that's not right.
Some people who have had prolonged effects from COVID-19 say they're experiencing an unexpected benefit from the coronavirus vaccine. Symptom improvement, even relief. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
For COVID-19 long haulers plagued with prolonged symptoms like fatigue and brain fog, it's been a long road. But for some, the coronavirus vaccines are helping.
I could focus, I could see, my sinuses cleared up. It was wonderful. And also the fatigue lifted.
Rebecca Neff says she suffered from continuous COVID-19 symptoms until getting a first dose of the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine.
The next day I woke up and my head was clear. I had not realized how foggy it was even on good days.
We were prepared for everything, except for this.
Diana Barrett is founder of the nonprofit Survivor Corps organization, a group of about 160,000 people that links COVID survivors with information. Barrett did an informal and unscientific poll of COVID-19 long haulers and their experience with the vaccine. Of the nearly 700 people who responded, she says 39% reported their symptoms improved after the vaccine.
Anywhere from, mild symptom improval to complete resolution of symptoms. That we can't say that about anything to date.
Barrett says not everyone had the same result. 46% of long haulers polled had no change in symptoms after the vaccine, and 15% said symptoms worsened. While more research is needed, some COVID long haulers have hope.
I still feel pretty good, and so in another 2 to 3 weeks, I will hopefully get the second one.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
We all know accidents with credit cards happen, but being charged $6,000 for a cup of coffee has a Colorado woman stunned. And as Jacqueline Allen reports, she's been in a 3-month battle to get her money back.
Not a morning goes by
every single day
that Lisa Angelo doesn't regret a cup of coffee she ordered on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, I went to the Gaylord with an out-of-town guest so that we could go and take her children ice skating.
It was supposed to be a holiday treat, but the next week, she got an alert from her bank.
I have never had an insufficient funds fee before. I'm very, very careful with what money is in there, how I pay my bills.
At first, she thought it was fraud. Then she noticed the charge.
So you were charged $5,700 for a cup of coffee?
Yes. I realized that 570,570 was the dollar amount put in twice.
That's an expensive cinnamon dolce latte.
That's a trip to Paris cinnamon dolce latte.
What should have been a simple refund,
January 8th, January 22nd,
has become call after call.
March 9th, March 10th.
Trying to get this resolved for more than 2 months. Her records show the Gaylord admitted the mistake in January, claiming they refunded the money. Her bank, USAA, doesn't have it. At first, USAA gave her a credit for the $5,700, but took it back out of her account last week.
You're caught in the middle.
I am caught in the middle. No one has my back, and no one's listening. I want my money returned to me.
So, Contact Denver 7 ordered some coffee at the Gaylord and started asking questions. Why did this charge not raise red flags for either company? They would not speak on camera, but in a statement, USAA says they are working with the merchant to resolve this issue.
Within a couple of hours from you contacting them, I received money back into my account as a provisional credit. So I'm actually back into the black where I can pay my bills.
Lisa just doesn't want to think about her $5,000 cup of coffee every morning. The only refill she needs is for her bank account.
And it doesn't even matter whose fault it is anymore. I just want it rectified. I want it made right.
Home buyers may be having trouble finding their perfect home. The National Association of Realtors says inventory of homes for sale was at a record low last month. A little over 1 million homes were for sale in February, a 30% drop from last year. However, the median home price is now higher than a year ago at $313,000. That's a 16% increase. While home buyers are struggling, the news is good for those selling. Experts say properties on the market are selling quicker than last year. A warning from several government agencies: what you share about your vaccine on social media could make you a target for scammers. Mandy Gaither explains.
After more than a year of the pandemic, you may find yourself wanting to show your excitement over getting a vaccine. But be careful what you share on social media.
Happily tell everybody you got the vaccine, but there's no need to take a picture of the card and provide all that information to anybody who can see the photo.
Nanette Day, an official with the Department of Health and Human Services, says vaccination cards have personal information, including birth date, vaccine type, and where the vaccine was given. Posting a picture of it could make you a target.
It puts together a picture for you, and when the fraudster knows more about you, they seem more legitimate to you, and you're more likely to fall for the fraud.
Day says people who have been vaccinated could also be targeted by email.
One of the things that we're seeing now attached to that is a widespread email campaign telling people that if they got the Moderna vaccine, that they should fill out a survey about their experience and they will receive some benefit.
The benefit never comes. It's a scam. Day says don't respond to unsolicited calls, texts, or emails about the vaccine.
We had a complaint yesterday where the person provided photographs of their driver's license, photograph of their Social Security card, and their Medicare number to a completely fraudulent and unsolicited contact.
If you need vaccine information, go to a legitimate source like your state or county health department's website. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. The votes are in, and there's a new Cadbury bunny. For the first time ever, an amphibian is inheriting the bunny ears. Betty the Australian White's tree frog will represent Cadbury this year. She's also starring in the Clucking Bunny commercial coming soon. Betty's already featured in a brief sneak peek. This is Betty's first Easter. At less than a year old, she's already a natural at the bunny hop. Betty beat out 12,000 other entries, including a donkey, a miniature horse, and a goat. In addition to starring in the commercial, Betty will get a $5,000 cash prize. From our whole team, thank you for joining us. We hope you have a great night.